Okay, this is on The Guardian. Apparently, there has been another cameraman or another reporting staffer or whatnot that's been killed in Ukraine. And this one is Mr. Pierre, I think it's Zakrzewski, if I'm not mistaken. And another one along with him, Ukrainian producer Oleksandra Kuvshynova. Were killed in an attack outside Kiev. And it's important to note there was another Fox reporter that was injured. Someone brought this up in the live stream that I did yesterday, and we'll get into that now in just 1 second. That was Benjamin Hall. So the three of them were caught in what seems to be artillery fire. We'll just read ahead real quick. Two Fox News journalists, producer Oleksandra Kuvshynova and cameraman Pierre Zakrzewski, were killed in the attack outside Kiev, which injured correspondent Benjamin Hall. The U.S. network and its journalists confirmed on Tuesday. Fox News, in a statement, only announced the death of Zakrzewski, an Irish citizen. Ukrainian officials and Fox News reporters confirmed that Kuvshynova was also killed in the attack. And I did notice that as well, actually, in the Fox News article that I have here. I'm not reading it because it's without this information. They do not mention Alexandra's death as well. Anyways, moving on. In quotes, "Rip Pierre and Sasha." The Fox News Pentagon correspondent Lucas Tomlinson wrote on Twitter, using a diminutive name for the producer and sharing a recent picture of the two smiling with Hall. Zakrzewski and Kuvshynova died as a result of artillery shelling by Russian troops in the northeastern part of the village of Gorenka. Now, I looked up the area here, Gorenka. I noticed that those two consonants kind of mix and match in Ukrainian. So this is actually right where that Irpin. It's not that bridge, but a little bit further up to the north here. And on the live map, it's telling me that it happened around here, right about here. So right on the lines, it would make sense that this would be hit with artillery fire. That's for sure. The news follows the death in Ukraine on Sunday of Brent Renaud, an American filmmaker who was shot. He's a filmmaker now. They said reporter, NYT reporter. Now it's filmmaker who was shot in an area near where the Fox journalists were attacked. I guess you could say that, but really, it's we're talking that's about 5 kilometers away, as you can see here. Like that, it's pretty far ways away. I wouldn't call it exactly related. It was 2 different times. But whatever, I guess it's close enough if you don't know Kiev, which I don't really either, so I suppose. I'm just being a little picky. Let's see if there's anything I missed here. It was not immediately clear why Fox News did not mention Kuvshynova's death. The channel was approached for comment. Pierre was a war zone photographer who covered nearly every international story for Fox News, from Iraq to Afghanistan to Syria, during his long tenure with us. We'll leave it at that there for this part. One thing I want to note, or I want to mention, along with leaving out Kuvshinova's name for Fox News, when the news broke about the shelling, no one ever talked about his death. It was all about a Fox News. This is what we got earlier. Fox News journalist suffers serious injuries by Russian forces in Ukraine, including shrapnel wounds and multiple fractures. This was yesterday, and this is regarding the same attack. This turned out to be Benjamin Hall. Okay, and they wouldn't say his name at first, and they were censoring his face. I don't know why they would do that. I'm sure there's reasons that we don't understand yet, but they're certainly not looking to explain anything. And as you can see, one other thing as well, there was one person that was asking about this, I guess, date is being after, 16 days after the day that he had died or whatever. I'm going to guess that this is a press pass at which he had validation up until that point. But that still doesn't take away from how weird this is, that they would just censor this part out, not show his name, and not talk about the deaths of Zakrzewski or what was the other name? Alexandra. All these Ukrainian names are throwing me off. What's her name again? I forget. Sorry. Kuvshynova. Yeah, so I don't know why they wouldn't say that. They're certainly leaving out a lot of information. The Guardian, hilariously enough, I guess, was the most informative. Fox News was basically gave next to nothing. It's all just heartfelt, which I mean, like, you know, they're paying tribute to him. I understand that part, but they really didn't give us much information. So I'm wondering why that is. And I guess only time will tell if it ever does. But that's news out of Kiev. And one thing I'll mention as well, Dnipro, which is town right here, which has not been getting hit so much. It's one of the largest cities in Ukraine, as you can see here. That was just hit with an aerial blast as well. So that's something to bear in mind. It may be that the Russians are advancing now to the heart of Ukraine. So I'll keep my eye on that. And until the next time, I'll talk to you guys later. See you in the comments.